Hello, Maria here, the Creative Italian. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And so today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make these really easy, fast toggle clasps. But before I get started, if you like this video or any of my videos, if you'll give me the thumbs up, it'll really help grow my channel, and hopefully more people will discover me and I might just be what they're looking for. Also, if you want to know when I upload a new video or a shorts video, if you'll hit the subscribe button, you'll be notified as soon as that happens. If you have any comments or questions, please leave it in the comment section below. Now, if you have questions in particular, and I have not responded in 24 hours, which I always do, please put it in the comments again. Over the last 2.5 years, there's only been 2 questions that I never got a notification on in my email. So, and I found them like months later just because I was going through my channel and kind of checking things out. So, and I just want to put that out there. You know, I respond really quick. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So anyway, these are the 3 toggle clasps I'm going to be showing you how to do. And these are the tools that I'll be using. I'm going to be using 18 gauge copper coated wire, which you can use 16 gauge, but I'm using 18 gauge. I'm using a round nose plier, a bail maker. If you don't have a bail maker, just grab a pen, as long as it's smooth all the way around. It doesn't have any ridges in it. A pair of wire cutters, chain nose pliers, and these nylon pliers that are great for smoothing out the wire as it's coming off the roll. It's not an absolute must because the pieces that we're cutting are short, but it does come in really handy. A metal file, or you can use a really strong emery board, but this is the emery board that you would use if you had natural nails, and not the artificial nails. The ones for artificial nails tend to be softer, so these are a lot better for what I'm going to be showing you. A ruler. I'm going to be using a regular metal hammer and a bench block, just like that. The first clasp I'm going to show you is this double loop. I don't know what you call this, you guys. I hate to call it. It's a toggle clasp, but it's like a double looped clasp. This is something that would be used for a necklace. Say you have a necklace like this one, okay, and you want to double it and wear it around your neck, but you can't because it's not quite long enough. This clasp would come in really handy for that, because all you have to do is hook it on one end like so, and then wrap it around your neck and then hook it on the other end. And you could even wear it in the front, because I think that's just, you know, really pretty shape right there. So for this piece, I'm going to roll off about 4 inches of my 18 gauge wire. You know, I always would rather have more than less wire, because I can always cut some back. So now I'm going to take my round nose plier and I'm going to sort of gauge where I want my loop to be, because I want the loops to be the same size on both ends. So I just got to remember exactly, or pretty close to where I do the first loop. So it's going to be almost towards the base of my round nose pliers here. And I just kind of eye it and just kind of remember, you know, where I did that. Now I'm going to take my bail making pliers, and I'm going to use the larger barrel here. I do not know what size this is because these are not marked, but depending on what size you want this loop part to be will be determined by what you use to create this curve on your toggle clasp. I have also seen people use just a plain smooth pin, or, you know, even a scripto pen that's a little bit bigger. So it depends, you know, on what you have. If you don't have something like this, you could absolutely use a pen or a scripto pen. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my my loop in between both of these barrels, and I have the loop facing me, as you can see. And all I'm going to do is just take this and just wrap it all the way around the barrel, so it looks just like that, just like what you see right here. Okay, now I'm going to place this in between the two barrels. I've got the narrow barrel facing me and the larger barrel that I used to make this on the opposite side. And all I'm going to do is just place it just like that with the loop facing towards me. And then I'm going to take this side and just wrap it around like so. And there you go. Super easy. So now I am going to just snip off just a little piece right here. Maybe about, I don't know what that is as far as length goes. I can't really tell. Maybe an 1/8 of an inch, something like that. So I just want to snip off just a little, about like that, so I can go ahead and create my other loop. I'm just going to snip that off. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to take my round nose plier and put it in there close to about the same vicinity on my round nose plier that I did for this loop here, and just roll it in like so. And there you go. I'm just kind of pushing it in there a little bit. I think this one here needs a little bit more turning. Okay. And this has a hammered effect, but I'm not going to show you guys that yet. I'm going to do that after I have done all these toggle clasps. So anyway, as you can see, there's a big space right there, and all I'm going to do is push it in just like that, and there you go. You got that toggle clasp, and I am going to show you how to do the hammering on that. Okay, so let's put that one over here, and let's move on to the very next one. Okay, so the next one I'm going to show you is this, which is basically half of that one, and I'm just going to roll off my 18 gauge copper wire here. I'm going to roll off about 3 inches. These nylon pliers come in really handy, especially when I'm rolling off a lot of wire, you know, because it stays curled up. However, with the shorter pieces, you don't necessarily need it, but I always like to show it anyway, so to make people aware of that, you know, that's available. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to snip an angle at the top, at the end, at one end, and I prefer to use my metal plier, listen to me, my metal file here, just to soften that up so it's not so, you know, sharp, and this gives a nice curve into this piece as opposed to cutting it straight off. And I almost forgot to show you all this little tip here, little trick here. And I just now remembered that I wanted to show you that. Okay, so now I'm going to take my round nose plier and insert it into right about the place where I want it to be, which is right towards the base of my round nose plier, like so. And what I'm getting ready to show you is that you'll see it better once I hammer this. But by cutting this at an angle, that edge right there, it just makes it look a lot more finished and a lot nicer than just, just chopping it off on the ends. That's a new technique to me, so I'm still trying to get into the habit of doing it. So I wanted to definitely utilize and show you all that in my video today. Okay, so now I am going to take my bail making pliers, or at this point you could also use a pen if you wanted to. Let me use the pen so you can see that you can actually do this with either this, or you could actually use a Sharpie if you wanted to, right? All you'd have to do is just hold the wire in place with the loop facing me, and press down and just wrap the wire around, just like that. That's all you have to do. And as you can see, I've got that loop, right? And it's a fairly, it's going to be bigger than this one I've got right here, but I just want to show you that that can work. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chain nose plier, like so. Actually, you know what I'm going to do, you guys? I am going, since I've already shown you that size and what you can do with the Scripto, or you can do it with regular pen, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Just gonna put it in here and just make it just a little bit smaller so that I have a tail. So, if you want to do that, if you get it where it's a little bigger than what you really want it to be, that is an option. But the main thing is, I just wanted to show you how you can do it with a pen. Okay. So now I could just smooth that out a little bit. See, it's a little bit smaller, and I have a little bit more tail right there, which is what I needed. I wasn't thinking about that when I used this, okay? The wire needed to be longer. Okay, so now I'm gonna go at an angle again, right here, and then take my metal nail file and smooth that out so it's not sharp. And once this is hammered, it looks really, really good, as you can see right here. It just has a nice finish to it, and it's not sharp at all on the ends. On the end, the ends, the end, the end. Okay, now I'm just going to take my chain nose pliers and just bend it out just a little bit, like so. And then you can see that it's kind of pulled away a little bit. So I just press it in like that. And there you go. Yeah, just press it out a little bit more. Actually, I like to see a little bit more. I like this bend, in other words. I like to some of them is hardly any bend at all. I happen to like more of a defined bend, but that's just my taste and my, what I like to do. Okay, so like I said, I will be hammering these so I can show you how pretty the texture is, after doing the hammering on the bench block. Okay, this is the other one I'm going to be doing. This is one that is actually wrapped, which is, I think, very nice. So let's go ahead and get started with that one. Wrapped toggle clasp. I have cut off already for about 4 inches of wire. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my round nose plier and I'm going to go about halfway. Let me reposition. About almost halfway, but not quite, because I want plenty of wire to wrap. So I've got my my round nose pliers, and I'm going to fold that wire towards me over my round nose pliers, and then pull that piece so it's parallel. So it's parallel to my pliers. So it looks like that. And now I'm going to move my pliers straight up like so. So I have this L shape, basically, upside down L. I'm going to slide that out, and I'm going to use my chain nose pliers to wrap it around 3 times, like so. And as you can see, this is bent over to the left of me. So I'm going to take my chain nose pliers, and I'm just going to go inside of the loop and just tilt it so it's straight up like so. And now I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and cut that tail off, and then take my chain nose pliers again and just press it down so there's no sharp edges. Don't want any sharp edges there. Yeah, just like so. And so now I'm going to take my bail making pliers and get this out of the way. Whoops. Get all that out of the way. And I'm going to take I'm going to use the large end here and just take that tail and just wrap it around. I could use this one if I wanted to, you know, but it depends on like I said, it depends on what size you want. So I have a nice tail there, and I'm just going to take my chain nose pliers and lay the base of it on top of that loop and tilt it just a little bit like so, and then cut. And now take my nail file and soften that up so it doesn't have a sharp edge on it. And I like to also do it on the top as well, all around. And it also, the end will soften up once I hammer it as well. And then take my chain nose pliers again and just tilt that tail out a little bit like so. And there you go. So the next step is I want to show you what I do to create this great looking texture like I have on these right here. Whoops, I just fell out. Okay, like I have on these right here, and it's just so easy to do. You don't have to use a hammer if you don't want the texture and you want this to be harder, the metal to be harder. You could just use a, oh boy, I forgot the name of the other one. It'll come to me, guys. Let's go to the next video. Let's go to the next step and let me show you how I do that. To create my texture, I'm just using a regular household hardware hammer. I hammer it on both sides, and I just keep hammering until I get the amount of texture that I want. And by doing this, it also hardens the wire as well. Now, if you don't want the texture, you can use a smooth chasing hammer. And there are chasing hammers out there that also have interchangeable heads for texture as well, which I don't have one of those. So I'm just using my regular hammer here. What's great is it does harden the wire. And once I get to the point that I like it, I stop, and then I take my chain nose pliers and just make some small adjustments, because sometimes the wire can kind of needs just a little bit of tightening up. As you can see, just needs pressing in a little bit. That's normal, you know, whenever we're doing any kind of hardening of the wire like this, that happens. So it's just super easy to do. And there you go. So in these, I didn't do as much texture as I did on the original piece that I did for the video. This one I flattened out more and texturized more, but it's all in what you want at that moment. Well, anyway, thanks you guys for coming by my channel and watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like the video, if you'll give me the thumbs up on that, or any videos on here, it'll help me grow my channel. If you want to know when I have a new video or shorts coming out, just hit the subscribe button below. If you have any comments or questions, please leave it down below. And again, I will be doing a video on how to attach those toggle clasps to leather barrel knots. So stay tuned for that. And again, thanks for coming by, and I'll be seeing y'all again. I'll be back. All right, bye-bye.